Hello students. In last class we have discussed about the two important characteristics of living organism. But some students send me queries due to lost their connection yesterday during online class. So today I am going to explain again the last topic through this video. As you know, the characteristic of living organism show growth, reproduction. They respond against the stimuli or the external environment, and you have learned about different type of tropic movements in 10th class. So, for example, it showed phototropism and chemotaxic. Now, some students ask me what is the meaning of the chemotaxic. Now, chemotaxic means it is the movement of an organism in response to a chemical stimulus. जब पॉलन ग्रेन्स स्टिग्मा पे जाके अटैच हो जाते हैं तो वो एक पॉलन ट्यूब की फॉर्मेशन करते हैं और इस फॉर्मेशन को हम क्या बोलते हैं कीमोट्रोपिज्म. दैट इज कॉल्ड द पॉजिटिव कीमोट्रोपिज्म. नाउ द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म शोज सेलुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. As we know, all the organisms are made up of one or more cells, and this is the basic unit of life. And the next characteristic, they show the metabolism. It means they show sum total of all the chemical reactions which occur in a living cell. It means it is categorized into the two categories called as anabolism and catabolism. Somehow, living organisms are also interact with other living organisms, or in other words, you can say that a single cell or many cells interact with the other cells for their functions. Living organisms show heredity. As you know, heredity means the transmission of traits from one generation to the another generation. Now, in the next slide, you see the characteristic of the living organism. They show growth and development. They reproduce and they undergo a homeostasis process, metabolism, cellular structure and composition, and they respond towards the environment. So, according to one definition, we can define as the living organisms are open system. Now, what is the meaning of the open system? We actively interact with our environment, which results in changes to both the environment and us. That is called as an open system. It means living organisms maintain homeostasis. They are composed of cells and they have a life cycle. They undergo metabolism. All these are the characteristics of the living organism. Now we are going to study one by one the characteristic of living organism. Now the first characteristic is growth and development. Now, in case of growth, you see growth is defined as the increase in mass or the number of individuals or the cell. Now, it also shows some important properties that is called the intrinsic property and the extrinsic property. It means growth is of two types, intrinsic growth and extrinsic growth. Now, when we are talking about the intrinsic growth, the growth occur from inside of the body of the living organism, and this is called the defining property of life. And the extrinsic growth mean which occur outside of the body of the organism, like accumulation of material on any body surface. It means growth in multicellular organism also occur through the cell division. In case of plants, cell division occurs throughout their life at the specific location. For example, meristematic tissues, and this is known as the growth. Actually, intrinsic property or intrinsic growth is divided into the two categories, that is called as the unlimited growth or indeterminate and determinate or limited growth. Now, in case of plants, which shows the unlimited growth, it means which grow continuously throughout their lifespan, and it occur only in plants, so that the cell division occurs throughout their life at the specific locations. Specific locations आप लोगों ने 9th class में पढ़ा हुआ है, apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. And the meristematic tissues क्या होते हैं? They have the cells which have the totipotency. They have the ability for the division. Now, in animal which shows the determinate growth or the limited growth, it means the growth occurs only up to a certain age. It occurs only in animals, and the cell division occurs only in certain tissues and to replace the lost cells. Growth occur in multicellular as well as unicellular organism. Now, in the next part, which shows the cell division is a method of reproduction in them, and both growth and reproduction are mutually inclusive events. Now the term is mutually inclusive events. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of the mutually inclusive means if the two events that are dependent in some way, they are dependent to one another. Now, on the other hand, in multicellular organisms, growth and reproduction are mutually exclusive events. Now, what is the meaning of exclusive? It means that they can't occur at the same time. Simultaneously, they can't occur at the same time. Now, for example, अगर मैं एक एग्जाम्पल की बात करूँ, when you flip a coin, जब आप कॉइन एक बार उछालते हैं तो वो दोनों हेड और टेल्स जो हैं साइमल्टेनियसली लैंड तो नहीं करेंगे, ठीक है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव इवेंट्स. In third point, that is the cell division in the unicellular organism can be observed in vitro, or in vitro means outside the body. That is, the development of the organism takes place in test tube, petri dishes or under the microscope. Now, if you see the difference in the growth of the living objects and non-living organisms. On non-living objects, they increase in size, and there is an accumulation of the materials on the surfaces, thus it occurs externally. On the other hand, in living organisms, growth occurs internally as well as they are irreversible in the living organisms. Okay, now this is up to the first characteristic of the living organism, that is called as a growth. Now the second characteristic is the reproduction. Now when we are talking about the reproduction, it is the ability to produce a new individual organism of the same or the different individuals. Now the reproduction is of two types, that is called the asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. When we are talking about the sexual reproduction, it is just the involvement of the two parents, development of the sex cells, gamete cells, development of the sex organs, and involvement of the two parents. As you see, in the asexual reproduction in lower organism, basically in fungi, most of the asexual spores are produced in order to multiply and thread. Now, in yeast and hydra, budding is the method of the reproduction. You have learnt in 10th class, different types of asexual reproductions occur. That is, yeast show budding, hydra show budding. You see in the diagram, a bud protrudes out from the parent body and it grow into a new body cells, that is called as a new detached hydra. Now, in the next slide, you see the fragmentation method, which is also a part of the asexual reproduction, and it is also called as a regeneration. You see in the diagram, the parent planaria is divided into the two or more fragments, and each fragments get divided, and each fragment is able to give rise to a new planaria. This is called as a regeneration, and it is the another method of the asexual reproduction. And the another method you have learnt in 10th class, that is called the fragmentation. Now, what is the meaning of the fragmentation? In which the body of an organism is divided into the various fragments, and each fragment is able to give rise to a new spirogyra. Now, the term is the protonema. Protonema is defined as a thread-like chain of cells that forms the earliest stage of the life cycle of mosses. Now, what is the moss? Moss is defined as a bryophytes. It means the example comes under in bryophytes, that is called the funaria. अब क्या होता है, जो फुनेरिया है उसमें लीफी स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म होता है, और वो जो लीफी स्ट्रक्चर है इट डेवलप्स फ्रॉम द मास ऑफ सेल, दैट इज कॉल्ड द प्रोटोनेमा. In the next slide, it shows the binary fission. You have learnt in 10th class, the fission is the process of the asexual reproduction, in which the body of an organism is split into two or more organisms. It is divided into the binary fission and multiple fission. Here is the example of the binary fission: bacteria, amoeba, euglena and paramecium. They show a binary fission. You see in the diagram, binary fission in bacteria. Bacteria is divided, DNA duplicates. You have learned in 10th class about the DNA copying. Okay, now the cell is going to be divided and the two more new cells are formed in case of binary fission. Amoeba is given, in which the cytoplasm completely divided and two new daughter amoebas are formed. In case of euglena and paramecium, again the binary fission process occur, and euglena is undergo a division and paramecium is going to be divided. Okay, now the binary fission occurs in bacteria, amoeba, euglena and paramecium, all the organisms. Now the sexual reproduction is commonly observed in higher plants and animal also. It means there is an involvement of the gametes of the two parents we have discussed. Now there is an important term called as clone. Now what do you mean by clone? A clone is a progeny which is produced by the asexual reproduction. Now it does not have any type of variations because they are morphologically and genetically similar to their parents. It means morphologically means बिल्कुल as it is, जैसा वो बाहर से उसकी पेरेंट बॉडी थी वैसे ही जो है, जो न्यू डॉटर सेल्स फॉर्म होते हैं वैसे ही दिखते हैं. तो दैट आर कॉल्ड एज अ मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स. एंड व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द genetical character, it means all the genetic material is same as their parents. So the clone are the progeny which are produced by the asexual reproductions, and they are morphologically and genetically similar to their parents. But the offspring which are produced from the sexual reproduction, they are not called as a clone. Hence, the reproduction is the main characteristic of the living organism, but this cannot be taken as a defining property of the living organism.